We all are blessed to sit in this session and to get enlightened. With these few words, I welcome you all to the panel discussion session of this 2 days national conference, and I hope it's going to be an enlightening session, and I wish you all that you will participate actively in this program, in this session. Thank you very much and a warm welcome.
Certain amount of limited time to try and keep your presentation to about 8 minutes and leave 2 minutes for either summing up or seeking some comment from there. And so, can we commence?
One and all, in this panel discussion session, which is the last session of the 2-day national conference being organized by the Government Quality Certification, now called as IASC, Srinagar. Professor Dinesh Singh, Professor Umesh Rai, the co-panelists, faculty members drawn from across the valley, resource persons, we have Mathili, we have Sanjeev is saying that everybody is speaking his name wrongly, the paper presenters, dear students, scholars, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to congratulate and compliment Dr. Seema Naz for giving me an opportunity to be amongst the panel, specially designed to be talking about NEP 2020, integrating innovative and pedagogical approaches, evaluation reforms in higher education. I would like to start with a quote. Sir, if I exceed my limit, please ring the bell. Please ring the bell, which I will not, but I would like to start with a quote by Colin Wright, and I quote, "Every day is a school day, and the world is a classroom. Life is a teacher, choose your curriculum," unquote. I would also like to add here that Professor Umesh Rai, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Jammu, shared his thoughts and life experiences yesterday in the same hall while we had the inaugural ceremony of the national conference, wherein he talked about pedagogy and evaluation, which was sounding very innovative and well integrating in the system of education that we have, whether it is formal, informal and non-formal. I would again like to share another quote with all of you, that is Socrates, and I quote, "Let the questions be the curriculum," unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to draw your attention to these quotes because these are very important and drawn actually in the line of trying to implement NEP 2020 in letter and spirit across the country. We know that NEP 2020 will certainly ensure the foundation of a new India.
Teaching system say or should we try and remove the blackboard or reduce the importance? And finally, the last point is what is also mentioned. Does education have anything to do with the economy? Therefore, entrepreneurial systems. किसी भी stream से चाहे education हो चाहे chemistry हो चाहे engineering हो, does it lead to some kind of entrepreneurial activity for at least a significant number of students? So I throw this open to all of you. Mike said, please, you're welcome to ask. Make your point very brief because we have limited time.
Sir, I would like to share, while evaluating the papers of teaching of biosciences, there was a question like in DRS program, what is Archimedes principle? Demonstrated with the help of suitable examples. When I evaluated those papers, most of the students had just written like when the body is wholly and partly immersed in a fluid, it suffers a certain loss in its weight, which is what is the weight of the liquid displaced by the body. Then when it came to the second part, demonstrated with the help of suitable examples, I think I evaluated around 400 papers. Out of 400 papers, hardly 5 or 6 students would have demonstrated it, but only partially. Now, without going deep into it, for the last 2 years, I have made one humble, एक काम मैंने थोड़ा किया था. NEP 2020 के हिसाब से मैंने एक करिकुलम, एक पीरियड का एक करिकुलम सिलेबस डिजाइन किया था, जिसमें मैंने प्रैक्टिकल्स और थ्योरी को बैलेंस किया था. पर्टिकुलरली इन टीचिंग ऑफ फिजिकल साइंसेज या टीचिंग ऑफ बायो साइंसेज में ये 2 साल की मेहनत है मेरी. आई डोंट वांट एनी क्रेडिट फॉर इट, मुझे इसमें कोई क्रेडिट चाहिए. मैं अगर इस हायर एजुकेशन कमीशन को सबमिट करता हूँ डॉक्यूमेंट, वो लगभग 150-200 पेज का मैंने बनाया है. तो अगर आप उस पर कमेटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूट करोगे तो उसको देखोगे, अगर आपको लगेगा कि उसमें कोई वेट है, मतलब उसमें कोई वजन है या वो कोई चेंज ला सकता है इस सारी चीज़ों में, थैंक यू सर।
To follow this up with you, so thank you very much. Thank you very much. Any other points, issues, please? Yes, उधर जरा माइक देंगे, आगे फर्स्ट रो में एक्सट्रीम लेफ्ट माइक।
While speaking, but it just came across my mind something, while listening to all of you. Sir, on the one hand, when we talk about NEP, so what I got from some of the speakers was that we want our child, when he completes his graduation, to come up with an entrepreneurial mindset. So on the other hand, Professor Dinesh sir yesterday talked about listening to the drumbeats of the heart. So isn't it a kind of a dichotomy? What if somebody doesn't want to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, nobody said everybody should become an entrepreneur.
Sir, and yes.
कि आप ड्रम बीट्स उसको दिला सकते हैं, वो दिलाइए, और उसमें से उसको जो पसंद आएगा उसके साथ वो जुड़ेगा। तो आप ड्रम बीट्स को उसके साथ जोड़िए, हजारों होंगी, 100 होंगी, 10 होंगी, depending on the institution and what you can offer, and let the child connect with one of them. Entrepreneurial activity should be one of the offerings. It is not mandatory for everyone. Okay?
Mention the impact of this new policy on the branches of knowledge like pure social sciences and or the pure sciences. Shall we be able to create the academicians in future? In this way, the system will be having the expertise in the different branches of knowledge.
Views are. Would anyone like to respond to that? Professor Mathew, would you like to respond to that? आप माइक जरा उनको दे दें. If you are a cricketer, I can toss it.
आई थिंक मुझे जैसा समझ में आता है कि किसी भी डिसिप्लिनरी रिगर को या किसी डिसिप्लिनरी ओरिएंटेशन को या उसकी भविष्य में होने वाली पॉसिबिलिटीज को कम करने जैसी कोई बात नहीं है। बात केवल ये है कि हम जब बास्केटेड कर देते हैं नॉलेज को, तो वो नॉलेज संपूर्णता में नहीं रहती है। जैसा मैंने बास्केटेड का एग्जाम्पल लिया था, बहुत समय नहीं मिला और उस पर थोड़ी बात हो सकती थी। We suddenly said that it is triangle, but it's not, because we have learned to see things basketed. So if you see it as a whole, then definitely will make more meaning out of it. But let's say I wanted to be specialize myself throughout my life, psychology I have studied and I have taught. So वो 15, 20, 25 साल में आया है मेरे अंदर। वो अब आज ऐसे नहीं होगा कि मैं अचानक से फिजिक्स भी पढ़ लूँगा और ऐसे वैसे नहीं होगा, आगे भी नहीं होगा। मेरे साथी हैं डिपार्टमेंट में, वो बाकी जगह भी जो कई डिसिप्लिन में अच्छा काम कर लेते हैं, बढ़िया कर लेते हैं, उनका ड्रम बीट आता है ऐसा कि वो कर पाते हैं। So I think there is nothing in the policy which says that these specialization disciplines will have a different idea altogether. But yes, there is a new possibilities, merging disciplines with dialoguing processes. I understood it this way. I don't know if you like this or not.
Similar to Sandeep's viewpoint, but just one additional point. So at present, we can only create good, robust interdisciplinary courses when we are strong in our own disciplines. So only those who have that kind of an expertise will be able to contribute to a good interdisciplinary course. And in future, it has to evolve. So these watertight compartments need not, earlier it was only philosophy and then it bifurcated into the various sciences, social sciences. So these things are fluid and they do need to evolve, and I believe that the current situation may allow for that to happen.
Then we'll come to you, okay?
Let me answer
Mike pass.
by giving example of my own discipline, zoology. And again, yesterday I spoke about that fishery. Do you think that the fishery should be the domain of the zoology only? Fish packaging, fish growth, the investment of the farmer, उसका प्रॉफिट कैसे होगा, तो इकोनॉमिक्स से लेकर के, इंजीनियरिंग से लेकर के, जूलॉजी से लेकर के, कॉमर्स से लेकर के, ट्रेड मीन्स ऑल दोज डिसिप्लिन्स आर इन्वॉल्व इन दैट, right? So the time has come that the boundaries of the subjects that we have made, that should be dissolved and it should be problem solving. So problem farmer का क्या है कि उसकी फिश प्रोडक्शन बढ़े और उसकी फिश की मार्केटिंग कहाँ है, उसको अच्छा इनकम, और उसके लिए जूलॉजी अपनी जो डोमेन बना करके चलती है, जूलॉजी डाइल्यूट हो जाएगा इफ वी अलाउ द कॉमर्स, द इकोनॉमिक्स, द इंजीनियरिंग पीपल टू ज्वाइन देयर हैंड्स विद जूलॉजी। ये इस माइंडसेट से हमको बाहर आना है। सो एंड सेकेंड थिंग, that when we are talking about the national education policy and flexibility and all those, we are not compromising with the domain knowledge, but one thing is that कि टीचर ये तय न करे कि इतना कोर्स वो पढ़ेगा तभी वो सोशल साइंस से साइंटिस्ट होगा, मीन्स सोशियोलॉजी के लिए इतने पेपर पढ़ेगा तभी होगा। जितनी की उसको इंटरेस्ट है उतना पढ़ने दीजिए, जिस दिन उसको इच्छा जागृत हो गई तो वो अपना रास्ता खोज लेगा। आई एम गिविंग माई ओन एग्जाम्पल। In Banaras University at that time the graduation was of 2 years only. I am talking about 75. और जूलॉजी का मैं केवल 6 पेपर पढ़ा हूँ ग्रेजुएशन में। मेरी जूलॉजी मुझे लगता है किसी से खराब नहीं रही। फिर वो आज 18 पेपर हैं, 18 पेपर्स। अब वो जूलॉजिस्ट कहता है कि अगर 18 पेपर नहीं पढ़ेगा तो वो जूलॉजी समझ में नहीं आएगा, इतना कोर पेपर है। भाई उसको, उस बच्चे को तय करने दीजिए ना कि उसका मन क्या कर रहा है। Why are we imposing on that students? So our job is to create the interest of the students. Rest he or she will find the way.
Thank you very much. आपको मैडम पूछना है कुछ?
Such an enlightening talk, and I've got to learn. I've learned a lot, and I can contribute something to it, which I came across reading an article about Steve Jobs. Actually, I heard an interview where he was trying to make this point that he was graduating in Stanford. He didn't find his interest there. Basically, he was raised by adopted parents, and they actually paid a lot of fee. But he opted out because he couldn't find his interest there, and he chose to study calligraphy, and that's how he invoked his interest there. And imagine where he landed up, Macintosh and Apple, being CEO of that. So I think the time has come to think out of the box. We should really be able to accept these changes. Conventional boundaries, we never know. We never know what will turn up. We as teachers, have a lot of responsibility in invoking the inquisitiveness. I think made my point yesterday also in my presentation that more than being information bombardment making on the students, we should be able to invoke an inquisitiveness, curiosity, wherein we also need to reflect that how to invoke that interest. Rather than
1 minute. Curiosity.
Exactly. So I'll give you an example. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching in writing, and there's a topic I'm supposed to tell them, giving them an assignment on how was the structure discovered, so that they go through those experiments, they read about it, and that's how we can invoke or give a study material. Yeah.
Otherwise, DNA का double helix कैसे discover?
Exactly.
Okay,
So once in a while we can
very
do those
relevant.
experiments.
Very relevant. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.
देखिए
Minutes,
वक्त की कमी है, हम
Yes.
एक दौर और
Just
करेंगे।
1 minute. Just 1 minute.
A lady always
It
has the
was,
last word. बोलिए।
Development. I really think that we as teachers need to go as researchers. We need a support system where we can equip our labs and train our students, because that's very important. Being a science student, I can understand the labs are not so well equipped. So if we have a chance to have a support system where we can, do something in that
ये
direction.
message हम सबको है। Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Rita Shah from Department of Education, Islamic Politics, Science and Commerce, also a divided center of Kashmir Division. So I just want to, because you said there is some connection between education and economy. Yes, it definitely has. And we should be thankful to the policymakers who have come up with NEP 2020, because it has definitely given some kind of scope for learning, earning while learning. I teach skill course, that is creative writing in English as a skill paper. But the only point is that I try to make it practical, whereas the other subjects like teaching pottery or apiculture or sericulture or fisheries, as Sir rightly said, some people are, they have a misconception that this doesn't demand any funds or any money. I think it does. And as teachers, we should be given that autonomy, either because you're the policy makers here. Remember, because how I tell you how my experiences, we have 2 batches, first and second sem skill, and all are admitted into this course because it's irrespective of disciplines. I had a zoology student, Soneha. She has passed her graduation. She is still in 4th sem, but she has become a writer already. And I could discover skills. Being a zoology student, nothing to do with literatures and English, she opted for the course. And what I did in my humble capacity, I couldn't do much because people don't understand at the health of affairs. I took them to All India Radio Station as one of the tutorial part. I also took them to EMMRC Kashmir University, of course with a kind of formal request and invitation. And then they got a real exposure. And will you believe me, sir, they were also offered 2 of the students in All India Radio. They were given a freelance writing job.
Let me announce here, this is not yet policy. I have to take the permission of the Higher Education Council, which is chaired by the Honorable Lieutenant Governor. But I have every reason to believe that this will be accepted. We are going to launch an online undergraduate journal where we want teachers and students co-author and submit. This will be peer
That would be
reviewed,
really nice, sir.
and
We have-
we want your practices to be submitted over there. Very soon, hopefully, it should be launched, and you should look out for that. Everyone here should look out for
So
that.
now, because they are coming to next semester now, my second sem students, they are coming to 3rd sem now. So I know this time we have designed the syllabus differently. Like we are giving them exposure to mass communication, radio and TV. So I want, because it demands money also, I have to take a college bus, I have to take some funds. I want the freedom as a teacher. I want to take them somewhere outside, sit with them, so that they can write something, like a short story.
Issue that your degree model, if God is kind, will begin to permeate all our endeavors in education, where you will have this freedom better.
Thank you, sir,
Stay
so much.
and work with us.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
so much.
And one important point which I have to make,
The
as a
other two points
teacher,
were not
it has
important.
not been answered because we have experts here. And that I discussed in the morning session also, and I had that in my paper presentation yesterday also. And I want you to know that, and especially Yasmin ma'am to know that, because you are the policy makers. So it's about evaluation of languages, especially English language, or any other language, especially JNK. We don't have any formal testing for listening and speaking skills. Unless and until we test these 2 skills, we will never achieve NEP 2020's special part, which is called as communication competency. Ma'am, it's never going to come. Communication competency is not going to come unless and until we test them. So there should be some strong reforms in evaluation.
Got your point. Thank you very much.
Thank
Here. कोई स्टूडेंट है? कोई पहले स्टूडेंट हो तो पूछे भाई. आप, you're not a student, are you? You're a student? I want a student first. कोई स्टूडेंट है यहाँ पर? कोई नहीं है? पूछे, please पूछे.
Perhaps Islamic University said that जो implementation के लिए हम academics को ये सोचना पड़ेगा, लेकिन जहाँ हम ड्राफ्ट की बात करें कि इस ड्राफ्ट को जब बनाया गया तो इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ एकेडमिशियन जो थी वो न के बराबर थी. अब जबकि हम एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं, हम इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटीज का कर रहे हैं, हम यूनिवर्सली जो पेडागोजी हमने एक्सेप्ट की थी उसको अवॉइड करके हम मतलब एक दूसरी दुनिया में आ रहे हैं. हमने सेमेस्टर सिस्टम का एक्सपीरियंस किया हायर एजुकेशन में, जिसकी वजह से मतलब हमें उतने ज्यादा रिजल्ट नहीं मिल रहे हैं. और आज एनईपी के जरिए से हम वही एक्सपेरिमेंट फिर कर रहे हैं सेकेंडरी लेवल पे. क्या इस चीज को लेके इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी या इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ सेमेस्टर सिस्टम, क्या पोर स्टूडेंट्स जो होंगे क्या उनके लिए कॉस्टली तो नहीं होगा, या प्राइवेटाइजेशन के लिए कहीं एक रास्ता तो नहीं बन रहा है? थैंक यू सर.
Thank you, Professor.
Happening before the NEP 2020 was drafted and then put in the public domain and implemented. I think that the best brains in the country and outside the country were part of it. It's a long run process. But I think it's very important for us, you know, whether it is the semester system, whether it is any other system which you are talking about. I think the experiment that we have, you know, been doing, if you look at the, you know, we had a traditional system where we emphasized it a lot on the core aspects. So we wanted that everybody should be a scientist, everybody should be an expert. It didn't happen, you know. So we found, and then we went to the joint. I think it's very important. I think, as Professor Dinesh said, always says that, you know, we need to help in identifying the drumbeats for the students. I think this has to happen at a very early stage. If you look at the Germany, if you look at the Finland, you know, at the class 4, the students are, you know, segregated into three categories. One who have a potential for that, you know, there's a complete process that is followed. One who have that potential for skilling, you know, they are put to the skill schools. One who have potential for leadership or administrative and all that. And the third category, those who have potential to be scientists and all that. I think this identification of the drumbeats has to stop, you know, has to start at a very early stage. I think it is very important. NEP 20 as in its current form is the best document, and it has come up after very detailed, you know, deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other students here? एक मिनट माफ कीजिएगा साहब, कोई और स्टूडेंट है यहाँ पर जो बोलना चाहता है या बोलना चाहती है? नहीं, आई एम वेरी डिसअपॉइंटेड कि स्टूडेंट बॉडी यहाँ, आप स्टूडेंट हैं? एक मिनट रुक जाए, नहीं है कोई स्टूडेंट, तब मैं शुरू करता हूँ सिलसिला। तो पहले एक जनाब थे उधर, हाँ आप पहले पूछेंगे फिर यू एंड देन ठीक है, बोले।
Chairman, I have two queries. One is related to the MOOC courses. NEP 2020 provides flexibility for the students to 40% of their credits from the online courses. Because there are better courses available on the different platforms like SWAYAM and edX. Then we encourage our students to go and register for those courses, but they are facing the problem that there is no clear guideline which courses they should opt for and whether there is the implementation of the software that those credits will be then transferred into their transcript. So I want an answer from our director for examination.
We realize this कि हमने तो कहा 40% फ्रीडम में ऑप्ट करने की, लेकिन हमारे स्टूडेंट्स ऑप्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, दे आर देयर ओन डिफिकल्टीज। तो अब हमने ये किया है कि हमने कंसर्न जो एफिलिएटेड यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं जैसे जम्मू यूनिवर्सिटी, कश्मीर यूनिवर्सिटी है, रिक्वेस्ट की है वाइस चांसलर्स को कि जैसे हमने एक स्किल की बास्केट, अगर आपको याद होगा, जो अप्रूव होकर आई थी, और कॉलेजेस का बेसिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर देख के, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स देख के, बाकी फैसिलिटीज देख के कॉलेजेस में उनको इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया था। तो मूक्स का भी हम ऐसे ही कर रहे हैं कि स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म पे जितने हमारे कोऑर्डिनेटर्स हैं ऑल ओवर द कंट्री, और जो कोर्सेज हैं कॉलेज प्रिंसिपल्स के साथ कंसल्टेशन करके एक बास्केट बनाई जाए और फिर ऑफर करेंगे। डिस्ट्रिक्ट जहाँ छोटे कॉलेजेस हैं, जहाँ फैसिलिटीज बहुत कम हैं, वहाँ डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल हेडक्वार्टर्स के कॉलेज पे लाइक पूलिंग करके रिसोर्सेज को बच्चे वहाँ आके वो कोर्सेज ऑप्ट करेंगे। वी आर ऑन इट, और ये एक्सरसाइज हो रही है। हायर एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट ने इसको रियलाइज किया है और कंसर्न यूनिवर्सिटीज के साथ टेकअप किया है, और कंसर्न यूनिवर्सिटीज भी इस पे काम कर रहे हैं। थैंक यू।
So we are approaching to the 7th and 8th semester of this NEP implementation, and in that we require the doctorate faculty. But unfortunately, in about 80% of the faculty in different colleges of the UT are without doctorate courses or degree. So what are the concrete steps that higher education is taking to facilitate the faculty to go for these PhD courses? Because previously up to 2017, we were having FIP, we were allowing the faculty members to go on full-time PhD courses. And after that, there was some restriction, but still, if we are asking the faculty member to go on the for this PhD degree on their own, availing their own leaves and without hampering the academic work, but still we are not providing them the opportunity to go from there. There are least.
Sir, I got your point. Sir, आपका point से faculty ऐसी होगी, पुराने वाले जो non PhDs हैं, लेकिन बाद में जितने भी अपॉइंटीज हैं वो सारे PhDs हैं। और पार्ट टाइम्स 13th UGC के प्लान में कोई प्रोविजन नहीं था FIP का, वो बंद हो गया है। लेकिन उसके बाद अगर आपको याद होगा कि हमने एप्लीकेशंस इनवाइट की और पार्ट टाइम PhDs की परमिशंस आई। अभी एक नोटिफाई किया है डायरेक्टरेट की तरफ से और आपकी एप्लीकेशंस को एंटरटेन करके सर उसमें पॉलिसी बनाई है डिपार्टमेंट ने 10% इन ईच सब्जेक्ट, बिकॉज हम एकेडमिक एक्टिव, आपकी प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट एट द सेम टाइम एकेडमिक एक्टिविटी जो कॉलेज में हो रही है पढ़ाने का सिलसिला हम उसको तोड़ना नहीं चाहते हैं, बिकॉज हमारे पास 4,000-4,500 फैकल्टी है, ओवर एंड अबाव हम एकेडमिक अरेंजमेंट लगाते हैं। तो लेकिन आपके हर एक सब्जेक्ट के 10% को पार्ट टाइम PhD के लिए परमिशन मिलेगी और ये सिलसिला जारी रहेगा हर साल 10%। सो 10% इन अ सब्जेक्ट, आगे सब लोग PhDs होंगे इंशाल्लाह।
That's it. Right now you can follow it up later, please. Thank you. Please.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Iqbal from Capital Degree College, Baramulla. My question is regarding the introduction of sickles and sickle basket. Because whenever a university, particularly I'm talking about the Kashmir University, they design a sickle basket. And it's not important for all the colleges as such to take courses. They have to identify the resources, whatever are available. But what is in practice and what's in vogue, that normally colleges opt for all the sickles, say in computer science, in mushroom cultivation, in beekeeping and all that. And many of the colleges don't have the required skill set in terms of human resource, nor they do have the required infrastructure, but still the students are actually opting for those courses. So I have an example of a skill course that's called welding technology. In degree colleges, and almost all of the degree colleges of the Kashmir Valley, I think 2 years back, a skill course was introduced as welding technology. And no degree college has trained instructor either from the polytechnic or from an engineering college, and whatever funding that got into the infrastructure development, that is aligned as such. So colleges acquired as much appliances and equipments, but the students have this feeling that this welding course.
She's got your question. She's got your question. Absolutely.
डिपार्टमेंट ने, गवर्नमेंट ने स्किल सेंटर्स एस्टैब्लिश करने के लिए कैपेक्स बजट में काफी पैसा दिया है। अप्लायंसेस के लिए भी रेवेन्यू कंपोनेंट में पैसा आया, आपने वो बना लिया। वेल्डिंग टेक्नोलॉजी मुझे मैं बखूबी वाकिफ हूँ, लेकिन सर हमारी जो गाइडलाइन थी पुरानी और आज की जो 173 गाइडलाइन है एकेडमिक अरेंजमेंट की, उसमें सर बहुत बड़ा प्रोविजन है कि आपके कॉलेज प्रिंसिपल स्किल इंस्ट्रक्टर्स को इंगेज कर सकते हैं, उसका रेम्यूनरेशन भी डिफाइन करके है सर। सो प्लीज गो टू योर रिस्पेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल एंड टेल हिम और हर कि सर प्लीज गाइडलाइन को खोलिए और स्किल इंस्ट्रक्टर जो आपको वेल्डिंग के लिए आना है सर, किसी प्रोफेसर को नहीं लाना है, आप वेल्डिंग के लिए ब्लैकस्मिथ को भी बुला सकते हैं, वो इंस्ट्रक्टर है। अगर आपने वेल्डिंग टेक्नोलॉजी इंट्रोड्यूस की है जो उसका थ्योरेटिकल बात है सर, डोंट गेट इनटू द क्वेश्चन अगेन सर, वो फिजिक्स रिलेटेड है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स रिलेटेड है, वो आपको प्रोफेसर कॉलेज में उसको थ्योरेटिकल बेस, थ्योरेटिकल नॉलेज दे देगा और प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट आपका स्किल इंस्ट्रक्टर करना है।
Thank you. I think we have overshot our allotted time. ये सिलसिला चलता रहेगा, हम आपसे मिलते रहेंगे, मुखातिब होते रहेंगे। उम्मीद है कि हम लोग एक दूसरे से सीखते भी रहेंगे। I think we need to draw this to a close. मैं बस आखिर में एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ। This is really addressed to all teachers. जितना मैं समझ पाया हूँ, उतना मुझे एहसास होता है कि अगर ये पॉलिसी नाकामयाब होगी तो इसमें हम जो टीचर्स हैं ज्यादातर हम ही जिम्मेदार होंगे, हम ही इसको लेकर ना तो ठीक से समझ पाए हैं और कई बार मैं देखता हूँ कि हमारे इरादे भी उतने नेक नहीं होते। इसमें मैं अपने को भी शामिल कर रहा हूँ, मैं भी टीचर हूँ। मुझे फैज साहब के बार बार याद आते हैं, उन्होंने तो अच्छी शायरी तो कहीं भी लगती है कि ये टीचरों पे मैं कह रहा हूँ कि मेहनत करते अर्ज गुजारते कितनी सदियां बीत गई और मंदिर में जो नहीं आया वह तो तुम ही थे, वह तो तुम ही थे। I now bring the session to a close. Thank you very much and I hand over to Mark.
Protocol observed. Thank you the whole jury for this illuminating discussion on the umbrella theme. new pedagogical approaches and innovative reforms in higher education. Now, before we bring this program to close, I would shortly and briefly read some of the key recommendations which came up and some of the key points as well. In the inaugural session, as you all know, the conference started with, you can say, with our chief guest, Professor Dinesh Singh, inaugurating the conference, and Professor Seeman Naz welcoming all the dignitaries who were present in the inaugural session. Professor Dinesh, in his presidential address, highlighted the true meaning of education, which is even this time resonating in the whole hall. जब हम ये कहते हैं कि आपको अपनी अंदर की ड्रम बीट सुननी पड़ेगी. So it's the major, I can say, idea which has come about in this auditorium, that students must be given chance to listen to their drum beat. Then it was the time of Professor A. Ravindranath, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Kashmir, highlighting some of the key aspects related with assessments and pedagogy in higher education. Then we had Professor Umesh Roy. He talked about that, you can say, dismantling those classroom kind of confinements that are there in our minds when we say that learning can only take place in the classroom. Second key point that he highlighted this time was that we usually as specialists, we just, you can say, keep on patrolling our disciplinary boundaries. We feel that if other people and professionals from other disciplines infiltrate, it's going to be something very difficult for us. So these boundaries have to be dissolved, and infiltration and dissolution has to be allowed if knowledge expansion has to take place. Then it was Professor Dr. Yasmin Ashai, Director of Colleges. She gave a kind of a cursory idea and some kind of key points about how NEP is being implemented in higher education in J&K. Thereafter, immediately we just began our first technical session. It was chaired by Professor Maithili Ramchand, and the discussant was Professor Sandeep from Delhi University. And the key theme for the technical session was integrating innovative pedagogies and teaching learning in higher education. I'll not be reading out who are the people who read their significant papers and the institutions they had come from. I'll briefly give some of the recommendations that came up in that technical session one. The first was embedding critical pedagogy in higher education. Most often we don't usually discriminate between what is indoctrination and what is teaching. Sometimes teachers actually indoctrinate, thinking that they are teaching. So this was one of the recommendations where one of our resource persons said that critical pedagogy and liberationism must be embedded in higher education. Second was teachers must get more agency in higher education. Furthermore, reworking of English pedagogy. This was one of key recommendations in the session. More of the constructivist pedagogy is to be introduced in higher education. This was again one of the key recommendations. These were 4 key recommendations that came up in the technical session 1. Then it was a time for technical session 2, which was started immediately after lunch at 2 p.m. The key theme was multi-mode teaching in higher education. And we had Professor Sandeep Kumar from Delhi University as the chairperson, and Professor Samir Babu from Jamia Millia Islamia, who has already left. He was a discussant in the session. The key theme was, as I said, multi-mode teaching in higher education. The key recommendations now. Higher education institutions must adopt the culture of, you can say, advancement. This was one of the key recommendations. A kind of advancement, a kind of progress which must be continuous. It must not be something sporadic. Second, 21st century skills, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, we have been talking about it. These must be embedded. It was said that we just talk about these things, but these are not actually embedded. And there are certain challenges in the way of embedding 21st century skills in our pedagogy and our teaching learning. So this was one of the recommendations. The third recommendation, online education. Digital platforms and e-content must be prioritized. Kind of discussion ensued that there is lesser, you can say, emphasis and people are not, we can say, using online digital platforms, and higher education must seriously think about it because times are fast changing. And then it was the time today morning, it was technical session 3rd, which was chaired by Professor Renu Nanda from Jammu University and Professor Zaman Sahab from University of Kashmir. He was the discussant. The key theme was assessment and evaluation reforms in higher education. I think the volume has changed. Assessment and evaluation reforms in higher education. The key recommendations were, as I could note, maybe the discussant and the chairperson would say there could be some other things as well. Criteria-based assessments could be deployed in internships as well as theory courses. The example of IIC was given, so one of the recommendations. Second was introducing numerical techniques for attainment, which was questioned as well by the people and by the discussant as well. By, you can say, techniques of attainment of CLOs, course learning outcomes and program learning outcomes. And the last was CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation needs robust support. We usually talk about continuous evaluation, we talk about comprehensive evaluation, but usually these are not being deployed, they are not being operationalized because there is no good support for continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Ultimately then traditional assessments take place. This was one of the things that came up in the discussion. And then the panel discussion that just ended some time back. We had Professor Dinesh chairing the panel discussion, Professor Renu Nanda from Jammu University. She talked about some of the innovative ideas that have been introduced in Delhi, Jammu University. Design your degree was one of the innovative ideas that have been courses or programs introduced in Jammu University. Then our Director Colleges, Professor Yasmin Ashai, she talked about generational learning differences. This is one of the very challenging issues. Berlow's SMCR model in MOOCs, which should be incorporated and the challenges thereof. Then Professor Majid Zaman questioned the way question papers are set. Traditionally, most of the teachers, as he said, that most of the teachers do not have training to set question papers. But we are relying on this system of examination when teachers, more often than not, do not know how to set questions. So this was his one suggestion, and furthermore, 360-degree change is required for all stakeholders, particularly when NEP is being implemented. Mindsets must change and reworking and restructuring must take place. This was the suggestion coming up from Professor Majid Zaman. Then Professor Khurshid Ahmad made control examination, Cluster University. He said that the role of pedagogy is undermined in higher education. It was discussed yesterday as well. In school education, there is good emphasis on, you can say, pedagogy, but in higher education, there is lesser emphasis on pedagogy. We wanted that more, we can say, emphasis and focus and spotlight must come on pedagogy. Professor Maithili Ramachan, she talked about flexibility pursued in Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and some of the very important things when she said that internal assessments, total internal assessments, reliance on internal assessments, when in our case and in our system, we lack trust as far as assessments are concerned, because if we internalize everything, there would be an issue of trust. So otherwise, internalizing everything would bring in more flexibility and better, you can say performance would be seen. Then it was Professor Sandeep. Pedagogy for him, he felt that it's very important for higher education and it must be included, and he talked about many other areas as well. Then we had our special guest for today, Professor Shakil Ramshu, Vice Chancellor in IUST. He said that we are bringing mechanical changes in our courses, working on exterior. We must go into interior and see the internal dynamics of the courses was his fundamental concern that he did. The flexibility must truly enter. We are talking about flexibility, we are talking about fluidity. But it's not entering our system. Our system is rigid. There are no spaces there. Somehow, certain dismantling has to take place inside. Mindsets have to change so that flexibility and fluidity enter. It would not enter unless minds change. जैसे मार्च जमान ने कहा कि अनलर्निंग नहीं होती. जब अनलर्निंग नहीं होगी, रिलर्निंग नहीं हो सकती. So this was quite an important point. Professor Umesh, while responding to one of the questions, he was talking about liberalization of knowledge. Actually, he meant we are actually talking about liberalization of economies. He actually responded in a way by saying that knowledge too could be liberalized. We as specialists, we are, as I said, patrolling the disciplinary boundaries. I would want any other professional to enter my disciplinary boundaries. I would find it as an infringement or infiltration into my field. But somehow, if we liberalize knowledge, if I cross my own disciplinary boundaries into some other discipline, this should be our mindset in the present times when new education policy is being implemented. Success and failure would all depend on mindset. That was an important point raised by, you can say, Professor Umesh. That's all for what happened in all these 2 days. Thank you very much. Now it's time for certificate distribution. We have some of the paper presenters here. And our dignitaries, our paper presenters will be honored if they receive their certificates at the hands of our dignitaries. Farooq Ahmed, Nawab से Amadip Kaur Ishi है. Amadip Kaur has come down from Jammu. So nice of her.
जम्मू से हैं आप?
Narush Rasool, if she is there.
जम्मू से क्या कर रहे हैं?
Susanna Bashir.
Yasmin Yaqub.
Manzoor Saab, Parekh. I hope you got your changes done. Uhida Shah, Islamic College of Science and Technology. Yes.
These were just a few certificates. Rest, all of you can connect from the program. Thank you so much.
बैठे हैं हमारे प्रोफेसर नजीर साहब वो आएंगे सामने HOD एजुकेशन.
Honorable Vice Chairperson, Higher Education Council, Jammu and Kashmir, Professor Dinesh Singh, Professor Umesh Roy, Vice Chancellor Jammu University, Professor Shakil Ahmed Ramshu, Vice Chancellor RUST, Professor Dr. Yasmin Ashari, Director of Colleges, Higher Education Department, Professor Majid Saman, Controller of Examinations, University of Kashmir, Professor Farshid Ahmed Mir, Controller of Examinations, Cluster University, Srinagar, Professor Dr. Methli Ramchand, Co-Chairperson, Center of Excellence in Teacher Education, TIS Mumbai, Professor Sandeep Kumar, Professor, Department of Education, University of Delhi, Professor Dr. Renu Nindar, Dean and Head, Department of Education, University of Jammu, and our Principal of the Host College, Professor Dr. Seema Naz, distinguished guests, participants, representatives, faculty, and my dearest students, Assalamu alaikum, and very blessed afternoon to all of you. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I have a pleasure to also present the vote of thanks to this august gathering here on behalf of the ISE family and on my own. I extend to all of you a very heartfelt gratitude for your support and cooperation and also for being with us. It has been a very fascinating and engaging 2 days, so I hope that you might have enjoyed and benefited a lot. At the very outset, I would like to take this opportunity to extend our most sincere thanks to our Honorable Vice Chairperson, Higher Education Council, Jammu and Kashmir, Professor Beni Singh, for gracing this function in spite of his busy schedule and sharing his enlightening areas with this august gathering. On behalf of the institution, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to all the worthy panelists for their expertise and insights, which were invaluable, contributing significantly to the success of the event. Your contributions not only enriched the discussions, but also inspired and engaged our audience, providing them with new perspectives and ideas. I express my sincere thanks to chairpersons and dissenters of various technical sessions for their efforts, dedication, and moderating and making things very easy and time-bound. I extend my sincere gratitude to our guest invitees, participants, representatives who have come from different colleges for their support and cooperation. I would like to thank all of them, and also I would like to say, if the time is money, you all have spent millions of dollars to us today. Thank you very much again for your cooperation and support. Professor Dr. Seema Nawaz for her support and her minute-to-minute guidance, personally monitoring all the goings around here and providing guidance at every point in organization of this great event. Ma'am, you are truly an inspiration to all of us. And dimension cannot happen overnight. It requires meticulous planning and execution and an eye for detail. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated faculty comprising of Mr. the Organizing Committee, Professor Muhammad Yasin, Professor Shokir Bilal, Professor Yunus Basit, Professor Saeed Shabana, and Professor Ejaz Ahmed. A very big thank you to all of you for organizing such a very successful conference. I extend my sincere gratitude to moderators and technical sections for helping to make the conference a memorable. At last but not least, our thanks for Group Protocol Committee, media persons, teaching and non-teaching, our student council for doing a lot of things around, and I would like to bring it into the notice of Madam Principal that they are always so supportive and cooperative, and they are doing a lot of work for the benefit of the college. NSS volunteers and our multi-task workers, and finally to the auditorium committee and technical assistance committee, registration committee for their contribution in making this conference very successful. Thanks to Zuhaib, Mr. Imran and Latif for providing us with the lost individual thoughts that we will cherish. Thank you all for being with us. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you all.